Good afternoon, my dear students. We are going to the next topic. Okay, now till now we have revised all the things what you have already studied. Now we are going to the thermodynamic unit topics in thermodynamic 3 unit 1 of our present semester. Okay, so you have to study hard. From here, be positive, take little care, study hard. Okay, whatever is said you have to take into account. Now what are the units which comes is Van 't Hoff's isotherm and isochore, Clapeyron equation, Clapeyron-Clausius equation, application of Clapeyron-Clausius equation, third law of thermodynamics, Nernst heat theorem, statement of third law and its application, exceptions to third law, experimental verification of the law, residual entropy, evaluation of absolute entropy from heat capacity measurements, partial molar properties, partial molar free energy, the variation of chemical potential with temperature and pressure, Gibbs-Duhem equation, the concept of fugacity, activity and activity coefficient, then standard states. Okay, now I asked you to write the derivation for Van 't Hoff's isochore and isotherm. Both the things we have already studied in chemical equilibrium in the last semester. Some students what they have done is they have taken the photocopy of the note and sent this as the assignment. That is not correct. You try to do yourself, write down once, that time only you will be familiar. I'll discuss it after this topic. Okay, now we are going to Clapeyron equation, Clausius-Clapeyron equation and its applications. Now before going to Clausius-Clapeyron equation, you should know who are these persons. Two persons, which is Rudolf Clausius and Benoit Paul Émile Clapeyron. They were the two scientists who has found out and they have done lot for thermodynamics. Rudolf Clausius was the first person who discovered second law and we have already seen Clausius statement. He is the person who introduced the concept of entropy. He is a German mathematician and physicist. He lived 1822 to 1888. Then Benoit Paul Émile Clapeyron is a French engineer cum scientist. He has worked on Carnot's engine and he found out that theorem and all. Okay, so his life period was 1799 to 1864. Now Clapeyron equation. Clapeyron equation, it is an equation derived from second law of thermodynamics derived by Clapeyron during 19th century. That is why it is known as Clapeyron equation. Okay, and it is the one which can be applied to one component two phase 6 systems. For example, if you take water and water vapor in equilibrium, it's a one component. The component present is water H2O. Phases are both liquid and gaseous phase is there. Now what is the importance is a simple example. It tells us why water boil at different temperature at different pressure. You know, you can see the first one, boiling of water. If you take the boiling point of water at the top of Mount Everest and in the sea level, that is what we see in our rooms, and also in deep in the sea, the water will be boiling at different temperature. What is the reason is the boiling point changes with pressure. At top of the mountain pressure is low, so water boils at lower temperature. Maybe in Mount Everest it will boil around 68 degrees centigrade. Whereas in the normal room temperature the pressure is 1 atmosphere, so what temperature it boils is 100 degrees centigrade. That we have already familiarized or experienced. Now if you go deep in the sea, the pressure is very high there, so water boils at high temperature. So this why water boil at different temperature at different pressure can be explained by Clapeyron equation. Now derivations I'll take you next. Now we'll see only the equations and go ahead. So what is Clapeyron equation is dp by dt is equal to delta S by delta V. What is dP? Change in pressure. dt is change in temperature. So what is it? The change in pressure with respect to change in temperature. That is given by an expression delta S. What is delta S? It is entropy change, and delta V is volume change. But we know from second law, or mathematical form of second law, delta S is equal to Q by T. So if you substitute that inside delta S by delta V, we can write it as Q by T into delta V, where T is the temperature of the process. Now applications of Clapeyron equation means this equation can apply to two phases in any of these equilibria, that is solid to liquid, liquid to vapor, solid to vapor, or one crystalline form of solid to another form. So everything when you take, it is a one component two phase system. Now we'll see one by one. Solid to liquid, example is melting of ice. So if you keep ice in an closed vessel and keep it for some time, what happened is ice started melting and it attains an equilibrium. That equilibrium only solid to liquid, and that process we call by the name fusion. Okay, for that what is dP by dt is, we have already seen, it is delta S divided by delta V. Here the delta S is, we can represent as delta SF, that is entropy change during fusion, and delta SF is equal to delta HF by TF. What is delta HF? Molar heat of fusion, and TF is fusion temperature or melting point of ice. Now delta V is volume of the liquid minus volume of the solid, that is volume of water minus volume of ice, and VL and Vs are the volume of liquid and solid respectively. So when we substitute these inside the first expression, dP by dt is equal to delta SF by delta V, what we get is dP divided by dt is equal to delta SF divided by TF into volume of the liquid minus volume of the solid. Now when you take this case, we know in the case of solids, normal solids or most of the solids, volume of liquid state will be greater than volume of the solid state. So what happened? The term VL minus Vs will always be positive. In that case, the melting point will always be positive if you take in the case of absolute temperature. So what happened? The term dP by dt is positive. That means dP is directly proportional to dt. What is dP? Change in pressure. So increase in pressure means the temperature also increases, or melting point of normal solid increases with increase in pressure. But for water, there is an anomalous behavior. What is it? Due to hydrogen bond. We have studied that. So what happens there? Volume of ice is much greater than volume of water. That is why ice floats in water, because density tells and mass by volume. So ice has more volume. So mass by volume will mass 1 gram of ice and 1 gram of water takes. Volume of 1 gram of ice is more. So what happened? Density will be less. So it floats in water. So in case of water, what happens? Increase in pressure decreases the melting point. That you have to keep in mind. Most of the solids, it is the reverse, that is increase in pressure increases the melting point, but in the case of the water, it is the reverse. What is the reason? Is volume of ice is much greater than volume of water. Now we can apply this to solid to vapor state. Solid to vapor, a solid converting directly to vapor, that process we call it as sublimation. Okay, example is camphor, karpuram. When you are burning it, it will not convert to liquid, it will directly go to the gaseous state. So the same expression dP by dt is equal to delta S divided by delta V. Delta S is entropy change during sublimation. Now we know delta S is equal to delta HS divided by TS. What is HS? It's molar heat of sublimation. Ts is sublimation temperature. and delta V is volume of the vapor minus volume of the solid. So when we substitute that in the first expression, what we get, dP by dt is equal to delta SS divided by TS into VV minus Vs. Now if you take the volume term, what we can get is dV is equal to volume of vapor minus volume of solid. Volume of vapor will always be much higher than volume of solid, so that term will be positive. So dP by dt is positive. dP is directly proportional to dt. So sublimation temperature of a solid increases with increase in pressure at all temperatures. Okay. Now next state is liquid to vapor. That process we call it as vaporization. Liquid to vapor. I made a mistake here. It is not S to V, it is L to V. Now dP by dt is equal to delta SV divided by delta V. Delta SB is entropy change during vaporization, and delta SB is equal to delta HV divided by TB. And what is HV? Molar heat of vaporization. TB is the boiling point. Delta V is VL minus VV, that is volume of vapor minus volume of liquid. And when you take the case of dP by dt, delta SV by TV into again VV minus VL, it's not VL minus VV. So example is boiling of water. Now when you take the case of that, it is VV minus VL, we will consider vapor, volume of vapor will always be greater than volume of liquid. So VV minus VL is always positive. So dP by dt is positive. That means dP is directly proportional to dt. So boiling point of the liquid increases with increase in pressure. Now next one what we can apply is solids itself and convert from one form to another. Solids are crystalline one, so there are different types of crystalline structure like rhombic, monoclinic, etc. So if one form, for example sulfur, if you take, it can transit from one crystalline form to another. So that process we call it as transition, and for that also we can calculate dP by dt. Again dP by dt is delta St divided by dV. St is entropy change during transition, and it is equal to molar heat of transition divided by temperature at which transition takes place, and dV is equal to volume of one crystalline form minus volume of another crystalline form. For example, if you take as alpha and beta, volume of alpha minus volume of beta. When you substitute in that expression, we get dP by dt is equal to delta St divided by Tt into Vs alpha minus Vs beta. Example for this process is conversion of rhombic sulfur to monoclinic sulfur. Now when you know what happens to change in pressure with respect to change in temperature when you take, here it depends on volume of S and volume of beta. Sorry, I have again made here one mistake. Take it as Tt is equal to Vs alpha minus Vs beta. So Vs alpha minus Vs beta, if it is positive, we get transition temperature increases with rise in temperature. If it is negative, the reverse will be the one. So change of temperature with respect to pressure depends on the volume of two phases. So if alpha have more volume than beta, means V beta minus V alpha will be negative. So increase in pressure decreases transition temperature. If reverse, that is beta is having more volume than alpha, then increase in pressure increases the transition temperature. Now Clapeyron, sorry I went back. Now next is Clausius-Clapeyron equation. Clausius-Clapeyron equation is one of the limiting case of Clapeyron equation only. They both together derived it. How it was derived is this equation, and the Clapeyron equation is only applied to liquid vapor equilibrium. We are not considering any other equilibrium. We are considering only liquid vapor equilibrium. So we have already found out dP by dt is equal to delta Hp divided by Tv into Vl minus Vv, where delta Hp is molar heat of vaporization, Tb is the boiling point, Vv and Vl are the volume of vapor and liquid respectively. Now what has done for Clausius-Clapeyron equation is we consider the vapor state as behaving as an ideal gas. Whatever be the substance we are taking, for example water to water vapor, that water vapor we take it as an ideal gas, and we substitute the ideal gas equation, which is PV is equal to nRT, and we will do the derivations and we arrive at an expression which is known by differential form of Clausius-Clapeyron equation, that is 1 by P into dP by dt is equal to delta Hp divided by RT square, or you can take it as d ln P by dt is equal to delta Hp by RT square, where P is the pressure, R is the universal gas constant, T is the temperature, and Hp is molar heat of vaporization. This equation has been integrated and we got an expression ln P2 divided by P1 is equal to delta Hp by R into 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. So this form is known as integrated form. So differential form is there and also integrated form. So remember, Clapeyron equation is dP by dt is equal to delta S into T delta S divided by delta V. Delta S is equal to Q by T. Q we take it as molar heat of enthalpies. So when we apply to various equilibria, its molar heat of enthalpy and the temperature at which the process takes place is taken, and we can write dP by dt is equal to delta Hv divided by delta H divided by T into delta V. That has been applied for various processes we have seen. Then Clausius-Clapeyron equation. What is Clausius-Clapeyron equation is? It is just a limitation of Clapeyron equation where we are applying it only to the liquid vapor equilibrium. Two forms is there: differential form of equation and integrated form. We will see the derivation, how to derive or how we can attain this in the next class. Now you just have an understanding of these equations. Okay, thank you.